This is a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua. This is a terrifying human being. Terrifying. And he's got that one-punch nuclear power. One punch. And he's fast. He's going to be terrifying. And he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to...
Joe Rogan unloaded on Jake Paul after revealing new details about the Anthony Joshua matchup. And this wasn't a mild critique. It was a full-force wake-up call. Rogan made it clear that Jake has no idea what kind of danger he's stepping into. The tone wasn't casual or playful. It was a direct warning wrapped in brutal honesty.
Realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time.
To Rogan, Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua isn't confidence. It's recklessness bordering on delusion. He doesn't sugarcoat a thing. Rogan calls the matchup one of the most outrageous ideas he's heard in modern boxing, because the leap Jake is attempting isn't ambitious. It's catastrophic.
You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
Rogan points out that Jake's last major opponent was Mike Tyson, a 58-year-old legend far removed from prime speed, conditioning, and explosiveness. Now Jake wants to jump from that into a ring with a prime, 250-pound wrecking machine. Rogan can't believe the decision, and neither can the boxing world. The risk spike is off the charts.
It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class level.
When Rogan talks about Joshua, his tone shifts into genuine alarm. He describes Joshua as terrifying, not because of highlight reels, but because his power is paired with discipline, precision, and a level of technical sharpness Jake has never experienced.
The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.
Rogan says Joshua hits like a freight train but moves like a smaller fighter. Fast, controlled, and efficient. He's watched Joshua shut down elite heavyweights with single punches. So when Jake signs on for that kind of threat, Rogan sees it as pure madness driven by ego, fantasy, or a paycheck too big to refuse. And the size difference is real. Jake walks around at 199 to 220 pounds, while Joshua comes down from 260 plus just to make the contracted limit.
Some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't gonna matter. You know, there's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio.
Rogan breaks down the physical gaps, 5 inches in height, 6 inches in reach, and warns that those numbers aren't trivia. They're red flags. Joshua doesn't just own reach, he weaponizes it. His jab hurts. His right hand ends nights immediately.
Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time.
Rogan then compares resumes, and the contrast is brutal. Jake fought Tommy Fury and lost. Before that, he fought retired MMA fighters, older champions, a YouTuber, and athletes far below heavyweight level. Joshua's resume: Klitschko, Parker, Povetkin, Usyk, Ruiz, Ngannou, world champions, knockout specialists, and fighters with elite pedigrees. Rogan's point: Jake is entering a world he has never touched.
Uber, who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who was really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite boxer.
That's why Rogan says this isn't even the same sport. Jake isn't stepping up. He's diving headfirst into heavyweight elite territory with zero preparation. Rogan breaks down the speed, timing, and footwork levels Joshua operates on, all of which Jake has struggled with against far smaller opponents.
That's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
Rogan believes Joshua will enter the ring angry, offended that a YouTuber thinks this is an even contest. And Rogan keeps emphasizing this. When Joshua is irritated, his entire demeanor changes. He stops entertaining. He starts dismantling.
This is a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua. This is a terrifying human being. Terrifying.
Rogan stresses that his warnings aren't exaggerations, they're reality checks. Jake isn't facing a bigger influencer. He's facing a heavyweight champion with Olympic gold, global titles, and knockout power built across years of elite combat. Jake has never stood in front of that kind of danger.
And then Joshua, check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, the speed that he hits him with this, he's so dangerous, man.
Rogan repeatedly references Joshua's highlight reel because that's where the real threat becomes undeniable. He points specifically at the Ngannou knockout. One step, one angle, one perfectly timed punch, and Ngannou, one of the scariest punchers alive, collapsed instantly. That, Rogan says, is precision violence.
Jake Paul's 6'1" versus 6'6" Anthony Joshua. Jake weighed in for the Tyson fight at 199. Joshua against Ngannou was 252.
6'6". Just not just 6'6", but 6'6", and knows how to use every fucking inch of it.
He stresses that Ngannou isn't just another heavyweight. This is the same man who dropped Tyson Fury. Yet Joshua erased him in minutes. Rogan brings this up to remind everyone how absurd it is to underestimate AJ's power or treat him like just another opponent.
Again, a guy who survived Usyk twice. You know, you saw what Usyk did to Dubois? You see Usyk take out Dubois? Did you see that? I mean, that's the Usyk you're talking about. There's an Usyk that rocked Tyson Fury, who's fucking 6'9".
So,
in my opinion, the most skillful heavyweight of all time. Twice. And you're going to go box him? And the toughest guy you fought before was 40 years old Anderson Silva? That was the toughest guy so far you fought?
Rogan also points to the Usyk and Ruiz fights as evidence of Joshua's evolution. Losing, adjusting, learning, and returning stronger, all at the highest levels. Rogan's message is simple. Joshua has lived through real wars. Jake has not.
Knows how to keep that stick in your face. He was keep that jab in his face, and that right hand, if it hits you, you're...
Rogan laughs off the idea that Joshua cutting to 245 is an advantage for Jake. In Rogan's view, that's actually Joshua's best form. Sharper, faster, and more destructive. Slimmer Joshua is the nightmare version.
88 Mike Tyson, full chaos. That's what I was hoping for.
we walked out like that.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, but that's what everybody signed up for.
This leads Rogan into the psychological side. He believes Joshua is genuinely insulted that Jake is treating this like equal footing. When Joshua feels disrespected, Rogan says the switch flips, and the destruction becomes personal.
I don't think this is that. I don't think this is that at all. First of all, it can't be that, because Joshua is still competitive in the heavyweight division, and he's only doing this.
Joshua is still chasing titles, legacy, and massive future paydays. He cannot afford to look soft or sloppy. Rogan warns that Joshua will fight with full purpose because a loss would derail everything he's worked for.
Deal, you know.
Do you think there was something probably just below the table?
I do not know. I do not know if it was said. I do not know if it was understood. I do not know.
In your professional opinion, based on what you saw, do you think that the people were holding back?
It definitely looked like sparring. And Anthony Joshua, you carried the torch for the boxing community, because I know a lot of like straight up boxers, and they absolutely felt that way.
Yeah.
Like this is what needed to happen. These guys can't come over from MMA and think they can box the best.
Rogan's conclusion is simple. If Joshua takes it easy, fans will scream, "Fix." If he goes hard, he does what he always does, destroys people. There is no middle ground. And Rogan thinks Joshua enters the ring prepared to annihilate Jake.
Loses this. So let's say he's only getting the 92 million, which I bet he's getting more. Let's say he's getting 92 million. If he loses this fight, he misses out on that Saudi money, because they could set up a Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fight, and each one of them gets...
Rogan still can't get over how weird the Tyson fight looked. He calls it a friendly spar disguised as a boxing match. Half-speed shots, careful pacing, mutual protection. To Rogan, it was clear neither man was trying to inflict serious damage.
To Tommy Fury, who's a very good boxer, but this is a giant Olympic gold medalist heavyweight. I mean, Anthony Joshua is fucking
Here's
terrifying.
the thing that nightmares are made of.
Which is why Rogan refuses to compare Tyson to Joshua at all. Tyson liked Jake. Joshua doesn't owe Jake anything. Joshua isn't nostalgic. He's not teaching a class. He's coming to fight for real.
And he's got that one-punch nuclear power. One punch. And he's fast. fast.
Rogan describes Joshua as a specialist in delivering knockout damage, clean, surgical, and unforgiving. Whatever fans thought they saw in the Tyson fight needs to be erased. Joshua is the real danger.
Anthony Joshua has that kind of speed. That is the kind of
With
thing.
252 pounds.
If you don't have the skill to get away from that kind of power, what happens is Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua.
Then Rogan addresses the money. $184 million total, $92 million each, and Jake claiming a $267 million payout. Rogan jokes about Jake tossing 9-figure numbers around, but the real point is clear. Saudi Arabia will fund any mega event they want.
Listen, it really depends on who's setting it up. Netflix doesn't have to tell you how much they're paying.